Hey guys, happy Wednesday, and just wanted to check in with you on this May the 13th, and just see how you're doing and encourage you to reach out to me if I can ever be of any help to you. So just a little bit of recap on what we've been doing so far. So last week, you explored some career options, and hopefully you had a chance to go through and explore the SNHU career page as well as the SNHU CJ Mentor Council page. Um, and the purpose of that exercise was just to get you thinking about potential careers within the criminal justice system if that's your interest. Some of you I know are taking this as an elective. But just to understand that there are resources available to you as you get closer to making those decisions and want to make some inquiries as to potential career opportunities and job opportunities. Um, so that is a good page. I mean, it gives you some ideas as to what's out there, resume building, interview techniques, things like that, because that's all part of the hiring process. Um, and this week I highlighted the law enforcement hiring process briefly in the announcement section. So you know there's a series of steps. There's a written test, a physical agility test, oral interviews, background investigation, and it goes on until the point you get hired. And depending on the agency, that can take anywhere from probably 3 to 6 months. So hang in there if that's your specific goal is law enforcement. Some of the other fields like probation, parole, corrections may not take as long. Some may take just as much time. They do try to do a thorough job. So again, hopefully you found that useful. I think it's important that as you get closer to your career goals and making your first applications that you realize that there are people out there within the SNHU community that can definitely help you and try to give you some pointers on things you might need to do to prepare yourself for a field in a career in a field that they're most used to, whether it be probation or law enforcement, and it could be federal law enforcement, state or local law enforcement. They're all a little bit different. So you do have those people out there that are faculty members, either permanent or adjunct, that can help you out. And then you learn a little bit about the importance of the rule of law within the criminal justice system and learn the importance of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And that's going to be important because that's going to tie back to some future assignments. So I also reiterated a little bit about the rule of law this week in my short lecture. So hopefully, time allowing, you'll be able to peruse that. Okay. So this week, we're going to be focusing on the law enforcement. So remember, the three branches of the criminal justice system are law enforcement, courts, and corrections. So this week, we're going to be looking at law enforcement and the steps in becoming a law enforcement officer. So I sort of outlined those just briefly in the announcement section. The textbook also covers some of that. But I also wanted to make sure you understand about the different styles of policing and the different eras of policing, because history tells us so much about this profession. And so understanding the history of law enforcement in the United States sort of gives you an understanding as to where we've been, why things happened the way they did, and obviously where we're at today. So hopefully you'll have a chance to take a look at that. And then obviously the chapters this week are chapters 5 and chapter 6. I do want to point out that video by Charles Ramsey, who was involved with the Philadelphia Police Department of Washington, D.C. Police Department. That's in the resources. So take a look at that, because part of that will be instrumental in some of the things we'll do further down the road in his idea of policing and the rule of law, the constitutional issues associated with policing and things like that. So time permitting, please make sure you grab a few minutes if you can and take a listen to that video. I'm just going through my notes here real quick. So this week, you're looking at the use of technology, and specifically you're focusing on the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution, which prohibits unreasonable searches and seizure. And so you're looking at a couple of different cases. The key here is to make sure you identify the title of your video as you make your post, your initial post, because when you do your comment post, you're going to be looking for somebody who selected a different case than you did, and that's the easiest way to do it. So make sure you put the title of the case in the header there for your assignment this week. And so you're going to be looking at cases involving the use of GPS, tracking devices on vehicles. You're going to be looking at the use of cell phones, obtaining information from cell phones, and then you're going to be looking at the collection of DNA at time of booking, and looking at the rule of law and the constitutionality associated with those and some of the issues that were raised by both parties as the Supreme Court made its ultimate decision. Okay. So that's what we're doing this week. So just make sure you get that. And remember to post your initial post by end of the day tomorrow. That'd be end of the day tomorrow, your time, not Eastern time now. So wherever you live, that'll be your guide. Okay. And as you go through your discussion assignments, make sure you take a look at the assignment guidelines and address the specific issues that's required for these assignments. So for example, this week when you're looking at your case, there are 3 things that you're asked to take a look at. And then as you do your response posts to 2 peers, there are 3 things you're asked to look at. So make sure as you develop your posts, you make sure you respond to each of those specific critical elements, okay? And that's what's important. So those are the things I look for. And then I look for the substance and how detailed your response is, and where necessary, support your conclusions or your ideas with references, right? So that having been done, I think that's it. Hopefully everyone is doing well. I know many states are still trying to struggle and get through this pandemic and COVID-19 and trying to figure out when to start opening things back up. So hopefully things will slowly and gradually get back to normal for all of us. Try not to go stir crazy. I try to get out a couple times a day, either go for a run or take the dogs for a walk or something, just to get out and about. Other than that, my wife and I tend to stay homebound unless we go to the grocery store or something like that. But you know, mental health comes first as well. So try to keep yourself mentally healthy and do the things that you can take a few minutes and clear your head for a little bit. Okay. That having been said, have a great week, everybody. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. You guys are doing a great job. I appreciate you guys doing the pre-quiz, I guess we're going to call it, or just something to test your knowledge. Again, remember, the purpose of that is not so much what you get right or what you get wrong, but just to see where you think you fit in your knowledge of our material for the week. So if you do a good job on it, there's some areas that you might think you might not have to spend as much time in your readings. If you aren't doing as good in some areas, then that might be the area you want to focus a little bit more of your time in your reading and trying to get a better understanding of the course material for the week, okay? That's the whole purpose of that, is just to give you a flavor for what you might already know or in areas that you might need to devote a little bit more time to. All right, guys, that's it. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Have a great week, and if you ever need me, just give me a holler. Thanks, guys.